Long ago, in the mighty kingdom of Zoruba, there ruled a man known as Jabari, the Lion King. He was not given this title for his kindness or wisdom, but for his ruthlessness and aggression. Jabari was feared across the land. His eyes burned like fire. His voice thundered like a storm, and his judgment was swift and merciless. To him, forgiveness was weakness, and power belonged only to those strong enough to take it. One evening, an old farmer came before the king, bowing low. "My king," the farmer pleaded, "the drought has stolen my crops. My children starve. I beg for mercy, please lower the grain tax until the rains return." Jabari scowled. "Do you think the lion shares his meat with the weak? If your children starve, it is because you are not strong enough to feed them." The old man wept, but the king turned his back. Unfortunately, this was not an isolated case. Across Zoruba, people cried out for mercy, but Jabari's heart was stone. One fateful night, a great uprising swept through the kingdom. The people, having suffered enough, marched to the palace gates with torches in hand. Warriors, farmers, women, and even children stood together. "A king who devours his own people is no king at all," shouted an elder. Jabari stood tall, his golden robes flowing in the wind. "You dare challenge your king?" he roared. But the people were no longer afraid. His warriors abandoned him. His advisors turned away, and soon Jabari stood alone, banished from his throne. He was cast into the wilderness, with nothing but the clothes on his back and the rage in his heart. For days, Jabari wandered through the harsh lands, his once mighty body weakened with hunger. His lips cracked from thirst. The very suffering he once ignored now consumed him. He came upon a small hut, smoke curling from the roof. A frail old woman sat outside, stirring a pot of soup. "Please, a drink, just a little food," Jabari gasped. The old woman tilted her head, her eyes filled with knowing. "And why should I help you, traveler?" she asked. Jabari fell to his knees. "Because I have nothing left." She sighed and handed him a bowl. As he ate, she spoke. "A lion with no pride is just another beast in the wild," she said. "Power without compassion is a fire that burns even its master." For the first time, Jabari listened. He stayed with the woman for many moons, learning humility, patience, and the wisdom he had once ignored. One day, while fetching water, he saw his reflection in the river. No longer did he see a king but a man. "I was fortunate once, yet I cast away my blessings," he whispered. "But now, I understand." When he returned to Zoruba, the people gathered in shock. "What does the fallen king seek?" asked the village elder. Jabari knelt before them. "Forgiveness." For a long time, no one spoke. Then, the same old farmer he once rejected stepped forward. "Do you now know the pain of hunger?" he asked. Jabari bowed his head. "I do." The people, once filled with hatred, saw sincerity in his eyes, and so, in an act of true strength, they forgave him. Jabari, once the ruthless Lion King, became a leader of wisdom. From that day on, Zoruba flourished not under fear, but under justice. Years had passed since Jabari's return, and under his newfound wisdom, Zoruba flourished. The fields were rich with crops, trade thrived, and the people lived in harmony. Jabari had transformed from a feared tyrant into a just ruler, one who listened before he spoke and guided with patience instead of force. One evening, as the sun dipped beneath the horizon, a rider galloped into the village square, his face tense with urgency. "My king," the man panted, "strangers from the north have crossed our borders. They claim to be merchants, but they march with warriors. They demand an audience with you." Jabari's face grew solemn. In his past life, he would have crushed such intruders without a second thought. But now, he knew strength was not just in battle, it was in wisdom. But peace is never without its trials. He gathered his council and rode out to meet the northern man. At the border, Jabari found a group of tall, armored warriors standing behind a merchant draped in foreign silks. His eyes were sharp, calculating. "King Jabari," the merchant spoke smoothly, "you have built a fine kingdom, but fine kingdoms attract many eyes. We offer you protection for a price." The gathered Zorubans murmured uneasily. They recognized the veiled threat: submit or be conquered. Jabari took a slow breath. The old Lion King would have answered with steel, but this Jabari was different. "I was once a man who believed only in power," he said, his voice calm but firm. "But I have learned that true strength is in unity, not fear. If you come with trade, we welcome you, but if you come with threats..." His gaze darkened. "Then you will see that this lion still has his claws." The northern men studied him, measuring his resolve. Then, to everyone's surprise, the merchant chuckled. "You are not the man they warned us about," he admitted. "Perhaps there is more to gain in friendship than in war." And so, peace was kept not through battle, but through wisdom. In the years that followed, Jabari became more than just a king. He became a symbol of change, a ruler who had once walked the path of darkness but chose to embrace the light. His people thrived, his enemies became allies, and the story of the Lion King became legend not as a tale of conquest, but as a lesson of redemption. And so, under his watchful eyes, Zaruba stood strong not through fear, but through justice.